Okay, for the sake of time, I'm just going to get started and then we'll just let people keep joining the webinar as we go along. So hi everyone, my name is Philippa Kogonza. I'm a final year mechanical engineering student at Coventry University, studying mechanical engineering. I am also the UK programs lead for Edu-Cater Global, and I'll be a co-host for this webinar session. I'll let my co-host introduce herself in a bit. Edu-Cater Global is a social enterprise. It was started in 2019 to basically bridge the gap between STEM careers and STEM education. So this webinar series was basically started to elaborate the different routes into a career in STEM. So I've been taking people right through selecting the right GCSEs, and we'll be going all the way up until handling pensions and retirement. So today's session will be covering job applications and creating a powerful CV. But before we get into that, I'll let my co-host Joanne introduce herself. Joanna, you're muted.
Yes, I know. Can you see my face or the presentation?
Both, that's fine.
Oh, perfect. So yeah, I'm Joanna. I'm actually the co-founder of Divesty, which supports STEM for professionals in STEM, as well as students trying to enter STEM fields, various STEM fields. I'm a mechanical engineer by degree. I also studied finance, so I've partway through my accounting chartership as well. I work for Rolls-Royce, and I'm a manufacturing engineer working in defence repair in Bristol. So that's a bit about me. I would just like to tell you a bit about how today will be run. So it will be a question and answer session for about 45 to 50 minutes. And then there will leave time at the end to ask questions to Thomas, which I'm sure you're probably going to have. So I'll just like Thomas to now introduce himself for us.
Thank you so much, Joanna. Thank you, Philippa. And thank you for the invitation to speak in today's webinar. The life cycle of the STEM role model has indeed been an intriguing journey, and the information and experience shared by other guest speakers have been mind-blowing and mesmerizing for those who have followed the webinar series. My name is Thomas Ladipo. I'm the Managing Director and CEO at Civic Recruitment and Consulting Limited. Civic Recruitment and Consulting Limited is the 2020 most progressive recruitment firm. Award winners are judged by the UK Enterprise Award Group. My job as a coach, recruitment consultant, and CV specialist accords me the responsibility to advise and tutor clients on best and most suitable recruiting and talent acquisition methods. Suitable recruiting and talent acquisition methods assist employers and identify, select, and recruit staff for vacancies and get job seekers ready when it comes to finding and gaining appropriate employment. I'm an alumni of 3 different universities. My first degree was in Greenwich University, where I studied building surveying. I went ahead to Middlesex University, where I studied money banking and finance. Then on to Greenwich, where I did building surveying. Then I did my master's at the University College London, where I did facilities and environment management. I'm a forward-thinking author, passionate employment generator, and business advisor who has consistently thought models using both the STFAR thought model and the coaching algebra, which addresses both the mindset and the skill set performance gaps accordingly. I've also developed concepts and strategies to improve businesses and support employment challenges within various communities by coaching, mentoring, building confidence, enhancing employment potentials, encouraging ideas, expanding perspectives, broadening broadening skills, injecting success consciousness into the minds of individuals to empower and inspire them to succeed in a competitive, dynamic, and evolving world. My philosophy as an individual is to continually encourage and promote sustainable and unequivocal community initiatives that will empower youth and job seekers. So that's about me in a nutshell. And I'm an amiable, committed, determined, disciplined individual who lives a life of service. So that's me in a nutshell. Thank you, Joanna.
No problem. That was an amazing introduction you just gave yourself. I'm sure there's many questions already. But I wanted to first ask you, how did you grow your network and build your personal and business brand?
Growing your network is not fun. I have built an excellent network and remarkable working relationship with associates, experts, and other reputable and renowned individuals and in organizations. It took me years of hard work, consistency, discipline, and dedication. I also had, to come to a place of realization that my network is my net worth. When you stop chasing the wrong people, you give the right people a chance to find you. So that is very, very important. So building and nurturing a support system, because your network is your support system, is vital in achieving all the things I've said. Establishing a strong professional network can benefit your business in several ways, from receiving feedback to bouncing ideas off successful entrepreneurs like yourself and business owners to opening doors that were once closed. For example, I met Frida in an event in Nigeria 2 years ago. And ever since then, we have attended quite a number of events. And that is why I'm here as well today as a guest speaker, So it's not only about developing the network, it's also about building the relationship as well. So it's been a very, one of the things I'm going to say very quickly is, in order for you to be able to achieve that, you have to make your presence noticeable. That's the first point. It's very, very important. Attend relevant networking events, online and offline. Online is a big thing at the moment due to the pandemic that is out there at the moment. So most things are online, including job interviews and all. You have to also adopt hanging out with hanging out in places where people, the people you want to connect with, you are there with them. You don't always take, learn to always give as well. And when I say don't always take, learn to give, you have to cultivate a habit of seeding to the market. For example, you're a new business owner. You don't want to just go out there and start saying this is what you want to charge. You need people to know you. You need to go on speaking events for free. Don't charge them. Let them know your worth. Let them know your value. Be a very good listener. There's a reason why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. We have to listen more and talk less. Never be afraid to ask a question, because when you ask a question, you know where you're meant to follow, the path you're meant to follow. Always think about long-term relationships. Just like I said, when you meet people, don't only think about the reason why you've met them, or I've only met this person in this networking event. You want to build the relationship. You want it to go as far as it can go. And that comes with your integrity, your personality, your transparency, and your personality as a person. And the last point I'm going to say on this is follow up with everyone you connect with. You can't meet someone, for example, I know one of the professional networking platforms is LinkedIn. when you connect with a new person, always engage them. Don't just connect and ignore it. Send a message, thank them for connecting. Just, establish a rapport. These are the things that make you build your network. So these are all the points that you should follow. I think there's a slide on this. Maybe you can show it so that they can see and take pictures of it if they want to. But there are 8 different points that are very, very important to follow in order to build your network.
All right. Thank you, Thomas, for sharing that. So you've spoken about how important a network is and how you could grow your network. Would you mind sharing some advice on how, or just sharing your personal experience on how your network has helped you with starting up your business and how it has helped you along your career and helped you to reach where you are?
Okay. My network has helped me through my career journey by constant referrals, invites to conferences and webinars like this, business ideas, social media support, which come in form of interaction and feedback. In terms of setting up the business itself, it was more of my passion, commitment, and dedication to my vision. Therefore, I'm going to say it was a matter of pursuing my vision and fulfilling my desires as an individual. I would like to let our viewers or those who are listening to us at the moment understand that you can find inspiration from others, but the determination is solely your responsibility. What you tell yourself matters a lot. The people you surround yourself with matter a lot. And of course, the ability to never let your emotions overpower your intelligence, because starting up a business or a career can be very daunting. And you have to always, be in control of your emotions and never let your emotions overpower your intelligence. Also, make your vision so clear that your fears become irrelevant. Because when you understand where you're going, the journey you want to pursue, what you want to achieve in life, these are the things that actually drive you through the journey. It doesn't mean everything is going to be rosy, but the things you learned as you were going, the experiences, the things you heard, other people's experiences are the things that will strengthen you through that journey. And it's those who actually who continue to strive despite the challenges are the people that actually go through this journey successfully. So it's very, very important that in order for you to go through the career journey and set up your business, you have to be strong, very disciplined, committed, and determined.
Okay. Thank you, Thomas. Sorry, Joanna, you're on mute.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll jump in then. That's all right. So, obviously now with the whole pandemic going on and everything, people are trying to expand their online presence. So, what advice would you give to job seekers and young professionals that are looking to grow their network and create a consistent online presence to sort of remain relevant?
Okay. Firstly, they have to be consistent themselves. They have to be disciplined and determined and ready to go that extra mile because it is never crowded, and maintain a positive mindset. They have to engage and interact with followers professionally. Presentation is key. How you present yourself on the social media platforms. You have to be able to understand that when you are on a professional platform, you have to, the way you present yourself is very important because these are your potential, employers. Let your network know that you are available for work and make yourself approachable. Know when to walk away from discussions that become heated between yourself and other followers, because people are watching, people are listening, and you cannot let one person, dent your image or your personality because the discussion is not going the way it should go. So always learn to control your emotions and know when to stop. Always post an informative article, mostly in your area of interest and discipline. They are watching, they are seeing you. Even if they don't react, the companies you are targeting, the individuals you are targeting are seeing you. Appreciate constructive feedback, be it positive or negative. When you have a mindset that you only learn and you don't lose, then it is easy to embrace any form of feedback. Follow up on everyone you connect with, just like I said initially, including recognize their promotions. When they get promoted, it says the person you are following has changed jobs and everything. Congratulate them, celebrate them on their birthdays, on their work anniversaries. All these things are the things you will do to build your network. React and comment on other people's posts as well. Then hashtags are very important, as other people in the same areas of interest will see your post and react accordingly. This also enhances visibility. Get involved with surveys in the organizations of interest and follow their corporate pages on all social media platforms. This is very important. Enroll yourself and do online courses. They are relevant in your online courses are relevant in your field of interest and discipline. This is because the people who you might be applying to will know that you are developing yourself in this area. And for example, I personally did quite a number of courses during the pandemic. I did like almost 6, 7 courses, and this also enhanced and broadened my network. I met more people. My followers on the professional platforms and all other social media platforms grew, and we interact more. There have been business deals we've done. There's been invites to different webinars, different invitations to come and speak in training events online. So it's been a fantastic, I used the pandemic as an opportunity and an advantage to level up. So when you want something, you have to make sure you do things that would lead you in the direction of actually securing it. So these are the things that I've done to create a consistent online presence.
That's great. And so you've mentioned some of the things that you've done online that have really encouraged you to build the networks that you needed in the professional world and what people should do. There's lots of, obviously, you've also spoken about the fact that even interviews can be done online now. So what would you say are the most effective ways to use social media to find employment?
Okay, thank you for that question, Joanna. One of the things that you should do is don't join the bandwagon of those who say, oh, I don't belong to the social media world. I don't want to have a social media. I want to stay off social media. In this day and age, you cannot stay off social media. It's a world on its own, and there are a lot of things happening there. So one of the things I would encourage our listeners to do is post the online courses you are doing or you've done, so that recruiters can see that you are keeping yourself abreast of in your area of interest and discipline. You have to be actively present on social media. I hear some people, like I say, social media is not that thing and that they are not interested in social media. We need to appreciate that we no longer live in an era of industrialization, and that we now live in the world of technology. You have to be in it, to see it, to be seen, to recognize it, and to be given an opportunity. So social media is a new world where so many things are happening in this day and age. You cannot find or secure employment opportunities without being a part of the social media world. Example, I'm going to give an example. Job interviews are done online now. Just the other day, I was interviewed for a contract role via Skype. And 3 weeks ago, another interview via the Microsoft Teams. So tell me, if I want to stay away from social media, how would I be able to get these opportunities? This puts a lot of things into perspective when it comes to using social media to find employment. It is very, very important. So embracing social media is non-negotiable in this current climate. For example, 75% of recruiters now go on LinkedIn to find you when you apply for jobs. Why wouldn't you want to be on that platform if you really want to secure jobs or find opportunities? And most jobs are also advertised on this platform. So it is a place, it's a world on its own. And in order for us to be able to move on with the journey of life, we have to be a part of it.
Okay, thank you, Thomas. So you've given us like a really good insight into how we can grow our networks and how to handle that and how to build on that. So now let's move more towards the recruitment side of things, because that's your area of knowledge as well. So from a recruiter's perspective, what are the things you pay attention to while interviewing a candidate, and what determines whether they pass or fail that interview?
There are quite a number of things you look out for. Appearance is key. You can't be going for an interview and just decide to appear anyhow. You have to, your appearance says a lot about you as an individual. During the interview, the confidence, and that comes with your sitting posture. Your personality will reflect in your conversation and the way you have actually carried yourself. So that puts the likability factor into play. For example, I tell quite a number of people that sometimes you go for an interview, you've not actually demonstrated you are the best candidate for that job, but your likability factor has played a key part in you being the chosen candidate. So that's very important. The level of preparation and planning is very key. You cannot be going for an interview and not plan. You have to plan and prepare, because in the answers you give, the level of preparation and planning you've done ahead of the interview will actually be evident. Your body language and eye contact. You cannot be doing an interview and be looking down. You have to maintain eye contact with all the people that are interviewing you. The knowledge of the job and the knowledge of the organization is key. For example, we talked about following organizations' social media pages. You can learn about the organizations, know about the organizations, because when you tell me about my organization, when you are not yet in it, you're a strong candidate to be considered for the job, because you already know about the organization. Then your qualifications is very important. You cannot be applying for a job when you are not qualified to do it. Your past experiences and exposure is very key. Response to the interview questions and the ability to understand the interview technique. For example, I tell a lot of my clients to always ask before the day of the interview, what is the method and technique of interview you're going to use for me? This is going to help you better prepare on the day. So you cannot be preparing for a competency-based interview when it's actually going to be a psychometric test interview. So it's always very good to ask these questions. If they don't give it to you, you have to ask, because mostly what you get is the job description and the job specification, but the technique of interview will not be sent to you. So it is your sole responsibility to ask that question so that you can be better prepared. Your skills. is very important. So is it your excellent collaboration skills, communication skills, decision-making skills, problem-solving skills, negotiation skills, planning, all these skills are going to be demonstrated whilst you are giving your answer. So it's very, very key. Then you have to always use the triple nod when listening, because that makes the interviewer know that you are with them and you are actually listening. And you see, one of the things I say to my clients is, don't think about the answer you want to give, but listen to the question that is being asked. It is when you get the question that you now come up with your answer. So finally, do not be ashamed to say you don't know when a question is asked, because that shows integrity and honesty. So they've asked me a question, I don't know it. I can always say, oh, you know what, I don't know. I can't remember the answer, but I can always go back to the um, information management system when I start working to go and look for the procedures, policies, and everything. So that shows that, you know where to go to. You don't know the answer in that interview, but you know where to go to. You know where to get the correct answer. So these are all the things that need to be done. And these are all the things that I pay attention to whilst interviewing a candidate.
Great. Thank you. There's actually some gems that you dropped there. The triple nod. Yeah, I like it. Oh, I'm very engrossed in the conversation, forgetting to ask the questions sometimes.
Sorry, one more thing I want to quickly mention. Always remember that you also talk about your abilities and your values. Let your values always tie into the values of the organization. Mm-hmm. Because when I'm interviewing you and you start talking about your values as an individual and it ties into the value of my organization, then I see no reason why I don't want to bring you on board.
Mm. That sort of leads into the next question we were going to ask about what do you look for in a CV that encourages you to maybe invite somebody to an interview and then eventually to hire them. So in the CV in particular.
Yeah, CVs are not easy. It's not exciting at all, and it's not glamorous, but it's absolutely important. I've seen all sorts of CV. But one of the things I always say to all my clients and all the people I coach, I always say to them that anytime you find yourself in a country, you have to first understand what is expected in that country. I'm going to just use a very little example here. When you look at a CV from some parts of Africa, the information that is on the CV when it comes to their personal profile is completely different from the information that is required in this side of the in the UK, for example. So I'm going to give a quick example. In some parts of Africa, you see them put their picture, you see them put their gender, you see them put their local government, you see them put their state, all this information. They are absolutely irrelevant in this side of the world. So one of the things you need to do, understand what is expected in that country. Because if you go by one size fits all, you might actually be making a mistake. So another thing I will say is every time you are given an opportunity to send a CV, always make sure you attach a cover letter. A lot of people don't do this. They always wait for the recruiter to ask before they send. So sometimes when you are not shortlisted for the job, it's because some other candidates attach their CV, their cover letter with their CV. It's very, very important for you to do it. And 99% of job seekers know that they should be including a cover letter, but they never do. It's just like when you go for the interview and they start with an ice-breaking question and say, tell me about yourself. It's the most frequently asked question, but the most failed question. You understand? So there's a paradox of value there. So the third one I'm going to say is, as an employer aiming to recruit a new employee, you should be looking for certain features in a candidate CV. If you are reviewing a CV, there are signs that the applicant is credible as a professional and capable of doing the job. One of the things you look at is concise text. How detailed is it? Some people write so many things that are, I call them jargons in CVs. They are not the buzzwords. They are not the words that would actually get you shortlisted. They are just things that you've just gone to copy from different sites to put in your CV. You've not even gone to edit anything. You've just copied, dumped everything on your CV. Even when you send your CV out, you see that it's got different shades of colors and everything because you've just copied and pasted the information. Relevance of the job. Your CV should be tailored to the job in question, focusing on how skills and experiences meet the job description and role criteria. So that's why when a job description is sent to you, you have to always tweak your CV because you cannot be submitting a CV that's not in line with the job description. You will not be shortlisted for the job. Focus on achievements. There are so many CVs I've seen in the past. There are no achievements in the CV. No achievements whatsoever. When you post your achievement and send your achievement out, the best CVs show the value candidates can offer, providing clear examples to support and any claims made. For example, if you've achieved something, that you've done a project, for example, Joanna, you're in Rolls-Royce, you've won an award in Rolls-Royce, put it in your CV. Let them know the award, what the award is, and what, how you won it and everything. Put it in your CV, just a line. It makes a lot of difference because if you are achieving where you're coming from, you will definitely be achieving where you want to go into. Hard and soft skills, it has to be put in there. For example, communication, problem solving, leadership, foreign language. If you speak any other language, put in your CV. It could be an added advantage for you. Then you have to make sure you don't have errors, grammatical errors, spelling errors. Then the structure of the CV is key. Let it have a structure. Then reference. Some people will put all the references in their CV. No, you don't do that. Just say references are available upon request. So when you now secure the job and they've taken you to the next stage of the recruitment process, the recruiters are the ones, or the organization are the ones that will ask you for the referencing. So these are the things that that I look for in a CV and that are very important. So you might have a fantastic CV, but if it's not well structured, well proofread, and well presented, and the key things that are in the job description is not included, then you will not be shortlisted. And one of the things I will also say is, when you have sent your CV out to 3 different recruiters or employers or companies and they've not reached back out to you, it's time for you to review it. Review the CV. Don't keep sending it out thinking that one day you will get shortlisted. There's something wrong with that CV and it needs to be addressed.
Thank you. You made some very good points there, Thomas. Food for thought. So research shows that recruiters spend basically approximately less than 2 minutes reviewing CVs, especially big companies that have loads of CVs to go through, loads of people to interview. So as a recruiter, you've told us about all the things you look for. What are some of the red flags that once you do see in a CV, it immediately makes you just disregard an application?
I refer to the red flags as warning signs because, you see, before you meet me as an individual, you first see my CV. My CV represents me. So if I've not presented myself well to you, you don't want to see me. You don't want to waste your time to see me. When considering applications, I aim to review CVs like I look at the ones who have demonstrated, for example, the presentation of the CV, the structure of the CV. Even before I start reading it, the way they have even sent it, Some people will be applying for jobs and they would be asked to send their CV via email. They would not send any introductory message in the email. They just send their CV and say CV attached. Already, I don't even want to open your CV because that is not a professional approach.
Yeah.
There has to be a form of greeting and also thanking the recruiter for the opportunity for you to send and establish a rapport from there. And you can also say, please confirm receipt of my CV, meaning that person is going to respond back to you.
Yeah.
So these are all the little things that are very important. So here are some of the warning signs to be aware of. Lack of qualifications. For example, I can't go to work in Rolls-Royce without an engineering background if I'm applying for an engineering position, right? So once there's no engineering qualification, that CV would not be shortlisted, or that candidate would not be shortlisted. Focus on duties. We talked about the job description and the CV. If you don't tweak it to reflect the job description, you will not be shortlisted. Initially, when I was answering the previous question, I talked about cover letters. When there are gaps in your CV, the cover letter helps you to explain those gaps. Because with the absence of a cover letter and the presence of a gap in your CV would not make them shortlist you. So irrelevant information, just like I said, you have to understand what obtains in a country. I will not, once I start putting if I'm a male or female in my CV, then the recruiter will understand that I don't understand anything about inclusion and diversity. So at that point, I'm not going to be shortlisted, because you should not be putting on your CV in this side of the country if you're a male or female. You understand? So contact details mistakes. I've put in an email, but the email is wrong. I've put in a mobile number, but the number is wrong. Spelling mistakes and grammatical errors. Because when recruiters get your CV, they put it on a software where it's going to show them what the errors are. And they just start seeing errors flagged everywhere. You're not going to represent the company well, because when you have to write to other stakeholders or other clients or customers, you will definitely be making a lot of errors. So that CV would not be shortlisted. And inconsistent formatting, we talked about that. So candidates should ensure all fonts, text sizes, and paragraphs are the same throughout the CV. You can't have your personal profile as Arial 12, then your education and qualification as Roman times 11. Then you have different colors of text. One is gray, one is black. So all these things are the things, are red flags and warning signs in a CV. But the second part of your question, Philippa, the best CV formats. There are 3 standard or traditional formats. You've got the chronological CV, the CV-based, the skill-based CV, and the combination CV. But I would always advise you, those who are applying for jobs, to always send out the combination-based CV. So that is the one that reflects both the chronological and the skill-based CV. So you have your personal profile, you have your areas of expertise, you have your skills and training, you've got your achievements, you've got your work experience, you've got your education and qualifications, you've got your hobbies. Then final one will be references, will be supplied based on, upon request. So that's how it flows. And when you have a CV that is that structured and well presented, let me tell you the truth, every recruiter wants to see you, because you have actually given a very good impression about yourself.
It's amazing. Yeah, thank you so much. So one of the final questions I really connect with, because I, for one, don't like to speak about myself a lot, and all the amazing achievements. It's nice to do it sort of behind the CV. But I would say that some of the most talented people suffer from this, underestimating themselves, downplaying their achievements. So what are your opinions about people putting themselves out there, applying for awards, promotions, and embracing their greatness?
Not so many people do it. And that, to me, is a major mistake. You see, the mind is a powerful tool. When you fill it with positive thoughts, your life will start to change. It's always advisable for people to believe in themselves and also see themselves as unstoppable. What you identify with and what you deem acceptable is what you genuinely celebrate as an individual. And I believe that the people who don't celebrate themselves, who don't put themselves out there, they found themselves in a comfort zone where they are very comfortable and satisfied or content with what they have, and they think they cannot do better, or they think they've actually achieved everything they need to achieve. But the truth of the matter is this: it doesn't get easier, we only get stronger as individuals. When something consumes your mind, it controls your life. So the people who don't do it, maybe they've been rejected so many times, they have been disappointed so many times, they have seen themselves as people who have failed so many times. But what the message I have today is this: it's time to rise above the curve and function against the odds. People don't give themselves enough credit for overcoming things and getting better. Like you've made it this far, you've achieved all these things. Celebrate your strengths. Your growth is your priority. Believe you deserve it, and the universe will serve it. So it all comes from you. When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you achieve it. So you have to put yourself out there. You have to speak the things you want, because you will not be found, you will not be seen if you are not out there. The achievements are not only for you, because you also remember that you also have to inspire other people by the things you are letting them know you achieve as a person. So when you want something, it is a good mindset to have, which comes with bags of confidence. Showcasing your achievements and celebrating your strengths can inspire other people to follow your footprint. For example, you at Philippa, you've almost finished uni. Joanna, you're already working in Rolls-Royce. If you don't let people know what you achieve, how would you be able to inspire the younger generation and the people who are meant to follow suit on what you are doing? So you have to always put yourself out there, advertise, celebrate yourself, apply for awards, promotions, embrace your greatness. Put it out there, let people see what you've achieved, because you are inspiring other people to also do the same. So remember, the only time we grow is when we build others, we empower others, we influence others, and we impact others. So celebrating yourself, showcasing yourself, embracing your greatness is also helping others to grow.
How lovely.
Thank you so much, Thomas. That honestly has been have a lot to think about. I know I personally have a lot to think about. I'm sure a couple of our viewers have a lot to think about from everything that you've just said. So thank you for your responses. That's the end of our Q&A. So we're going to open up the floor to the audience. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. You could either put it in the chat or unmute yourself and go ahead and ask. could be on any of the 3 topics we've discussed: networking, CV writing, recruitment, or just personal questions for Thomas. And yeah, he'll answer them as best as he can. Thank you.
Hello, good evening.
Hi.
Hi, sorry, my name is Kemi. I just want to ask a question following the conversation that Mr. Thomas just spoke about. Sometimes people are worried about putting their achievements in their CV because some of these managers or recruiters, let's say managers, do not have the same experience or the same qualification, and sometimes it comes against us when we are working. For example, most of the time when you are at a working place, you find out that the managers haven't got a degree, or they don't have any qualification outside the working environment. And then when you come on board and you've got a master's in this, MBA and all that, it kind of makes you feel not intimidated but uncomfortable, because you're feeling that, oh, now I have more than this person. And sometimes these managers do use them against us as well, because they feel that, oh, going to school doesn't mean that we're better than them. They are managers and things like that. So I don't know if my question is straightforward. What do we do in that situation? Because a lot of us are going through that.
Thank you very much, Kemi, for that question. Every time you get yourself involved in anything, I want you to always look at the positive side of things. You see, not every job opportunity and not every organization is fit for you as an individual. When you have a recruiter or an organization, a set of interviewers on the panel in an organization, and think your achievement should be used against you, then Kemi, I want to tell you something. You don't want to work in that organization. It's not for you.
Mm-hmm.
That organization is not for you, because when you eventually get the job, your growth in that organization will be non-existent, because the manager will never celebrate you, will never allow you get promoted, will never let you advance in that organization. You see, they are smaller. You see, you look at, we have a big river, right? You don't look at the small fishes in that river. You look at the big fishes. There are people, organizations that would embrace you for your achievements. So don't say because of the few ones who are doing it wrong, because they've appointed the wrong people in the positions to recruit for them, because of them, you're not going to include your achievements in your CV. Always include your achievements, and try and always apply to the organizations that would appreciate those achievements, not those that will penalize you for those achievements. Because organizations who actually know what they're doing, they would always embrace achievements. So that's my advice.
I 100% agree.
Thank you.
Okay. If anyone else has any more questions, feel free to put. Okay, we have some in the chat already. So Thomas, this is to you. How do you discern the appropriate CV to send? That's a question that has been.
An appropriate CV is a CV that does not have all the warning signs we talked about. A CV that is well structured, that is mistake-free, that captures all the job description, and also makes you an asset rather than a liability. One that captures what you're bringing on board as an individual to the company. Not, one that demonstrates that you are a problem solver and a decision maker. One that is well aligned, one that is being submitted with a message in the CV, in an email, not just a blank email with a CV attached. So that is an appropriate CV. That's an appropriate CV. I wish I could show, you a sample of a good CV, but you know that will be diverging information of other people. But a good CV, in a nutshell, should be one that is well structured, mistake-free, well formatted, and that captures the job description that you are going for. That's a good CV, an appropriate one.
All right. Thank you, Thomas.
You're welcome.
Okay, another question. How should you approach ending CVs that will be filtered by software? That's a good question.
How should you approach ending
CVs that will be filtered by software? You know, loads of those big companies use the software that sort of filters through all, so it will look for keywords or how should you approach sending CVs that may be filtered by software?
This again goes with putting in the buzzwords from the job description, because the words in the job description are the ones that will be put in the software for them to be able to shortlist it. So that's why it's very important for you that when you apply for a job, you know, they're going to send you a job description and a job specification. Read it thoroughly and revamp or review or tweak your CV in line with what you're applying. So for example, I've seen people who want to apply for a customer service job, but all what is in their CV is something to do with administrative roles. You understand? So when they send that CV to the software, it doesn't pick up the buzzwords that will get that CV picked. You understand? So you have to always align it to the job description and specification. It's very, very important. You know, you go online, you check the skill set of a customer service assistant, of an engineer, of a doctor, of an accountant. When you see all these things, you now incorporate all these buzzwords because they are very important. That's what the software will pick. So you have to always include it.
All right. Thank you. I hope that answers your question, Eva. And to everyone, so we're going to close the Q&A now because we have about 3 minutes to the end of the session. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who has attended. Thank you so much, Thomas, for sparing your time to share all this insightful information. It honestly has given me a lot to think about. I hope it's given everybody else a lot to think about as well. We'll be having our next webinar, which will be part 2 of this session with 2 different hosts next week. That will be Tuesday, the 15th of September, which will be based on CV writing and job application. So to look more into the application of jobs and so it'll be part 2 of the series. So please do sign up to that. Have a look at our website, Edu-Cater Global, and register to that. So thank you again for coming. And if you have any questions, feel free to find Thomas on LinkedIn or email them to Edu-Cater Global. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Thomas. Thanks for joining.
Yeah.